Hi, I'm Kristal Hart, and welcome to the Kristal Hart Show. We are at Gleason's Gym in Brooklyn, New York, and this is Media Week. We have former heavyweight Deontay Wilder going up against Robert Helenius. That's Saturday, October 15th. It's at the Barclays Center. It'll be broadcast live on Fox Sports BBC pay-per-view. And in the co-main event, we have Caleb Plant going against Anthony Durrell. And we also have in the house Frank Sanchez, Carlos Negron, Gary Antonio Russell, Emmanuel Rodriguez, and more. And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from Gleason's Gym here in Brooklyn, New York.
Well, I'm really happy to get this opportunity, of course, and I've been training in boxing for 25 years and have my ups and downs, and I feel like now everything is connecting, and that's why I'm here.
Did you feel like you would not get to this point when you had some of those losses a few years ago?
Yeah, of course. I didn't deserve it back then, so I didn't get it.
Speaking of not deserving and kind of talking about, we're getting a little feedback here, talking about things that have happened to you in the past. Tell us the difference, Robert, between yourself today and the one that lost to Gerald Washington 3 years ago.
Well, I probably have told this many times before, but I probably shouldn't have taken that fight because I was sick and took medication before the fight to keep the fever down. So I don't see that like that's why I didn't have a hard time bouncing back from that, because I knew I wasn't myself in the ring back then.
Robert, you trained in both Norway and Alabama. Do you see a difference?
Well, like you know, the heat is very different in Alabama from where I come from. So, yeah, of course, it's a big difference.
Is there advantage to Norway?
Well, I tend to think Finland. Yeah, I think it's more the air is fresh, of course. So we get a lot of oxygen.
Hey, Robert, do you feel that it's a disadvantage?
Right here. Saquon Jones boxing voice. Do you think you gave away anything during your sparring with Wilder?
Well, it was different back then because he was preparing for a different fight. I was preparing for a different fight. I was preparing for Komnaki, so I wasn't like training for him. So
you think you got some stuff, some tricks that you hid that he won't know about?
Of course.
Okay, all right.
How many rounds do you guys have in together, Robert? You guys have
hard to
numerous
calculate
rounds?
because I think we've been 2 training camps together. So.
Robert, how do you
Probably 20.
Do you feel it's a disadvantage or an advantage for you?
Well, only advantages, of course.
So, Robert, we understand that you, when you sparred him, you had bigger gloves, headgear.
Yeah.
But would you say the power is as scary from the outside looking in?
He's powerful, yeah. But I don't believe I'm without power.
Robert,
Who's the biggest puncher you fought so far?
Well, I think the hardest puncher probably was Limo Brewster, or the hardest puncher were probably Samuel Peter. Probably.
Do you expect Wilder's power to be more?
Similar, yeah. But yeah, faster.
Robert, a fight like that he had against 3 fights against Fury takes a lot out of a man. Do you think Deontay is mentally prepared to be where he once was?
I don't tend to think in those terms because this is a completely new fight. He has 1 year recovery from that, so of course people can change after fights, but I think he's a warrior and it's going to be a spectacular fight.
So you're prepared for the best Deontay Wilder?
Yes, I prepare for good to go, 12 rounds. If that's what it needs, then I'm ready.
Robert, watching you over the years, the best version of Robert Helenius has kind of looked eerily similar to Tyson Fury at times. Is that intentional?
No, I sparred Tyson Fury back, I think 2009, 2008, when he was a young boy, when I was upcoming. But after that, I got a lot of injuries and stuff, and my career went a little bit sideways. So nothing is intentionally. If I look like him, I tend to want to look like myself. I had one guy that I saw up to when I was growing up in boxing, and that was Lennox Lewis.
Did Tyson Fury surprise you with how he's evolved into the best heavyweight?
Yes.
What did you think of him back then?
Well, a young, tough kid, but back then I didn't feel like he got it. But after seeing him now, he's good.
2 more questions. Could you just give us the prediction? Hold on, Robert, damn.
Is there any,
Wait,
Hold on.
anything you saw in the Tyson Fury fight that you can look to exploit against Wilder in this next match?
Well, I can't give away too much, but yes, he showed the key how to unlock the fight.
There it is.
All right, thank you guys. Let's wrap on the scrum. We're gonna do one.